I am Lil Raskull, aka Raz. Of course, we in my city, Houston, Texas. You got a lot of Christian rap artists in my city, but it is my city.
Yeah, we were just talking. People may not know some of your history, so what's kind of the elevator pitch when you tell people what you've done?
You run into me, man. Of course, you know I'm a humble guy, and I ain't bragging about being humble, but I just am. So a lot of people give me the title of being one of the pioneers. Started doing Christian rap in 1996, professionally. You know, not a guy with a demo. I was actually out on the Christian rap shelves, and been with the game till now. So I don't introduce myself, hey, I'm one of the pioneers or the legends of the game. That ain't how I come out, but you know, been doing it a while, man. Love what I do.
Yeah, and you even had records out before you got into the Christian market in the secular world. So,
absolutely, absolutely. I was been a rap artist for over 20 years. Been doing it for the Lord for about 17. So 3 years before I gave my life to the Lord, I was actually one of the underground rappers here in Houston. And on the stump, I had my first professional project out, doing real well on the north side. And God kind of snatched me out of the middle of all that. Of course, Christian rap wasn't where it is now, so it wasn't. I didn't have a direction. You know? Matter of fact, when I got saved, I stopped rapping, and I just felt led, you know, by to continue doing it for the Lord, and it was unheard of then. It wasn't sold out concerts and packed stages and laser light shows back then. It was grandmas waving their Bibles, calling us demons back then.
Man, and you even did kind of worked as a label head or an executive in the music business too, with the BMG and that sort of thing. So.
Absolutely, I actually spent some time as executive for a company in Kingwood, distribution company. I was like an A&R / project manager for them, and started my own label back when the crash of Grapetree. And I still do. You know, I get emails from artists all the time about joining my roster, and I haven't just been active. You know, I haven't been 100% active like your Reach Records or some of the other labels that's out there. So maybe that'll change at 14.
And even went back to school to get your degree. I know.
I hold a bachelor's degree in political science. People say why. My long-term goal is to do law school, of course. You know, anybody who want to do law school, looked into it, you know, it's 20 G's a year. So plus a lot of time, you know. And I hadn't decided to dedicate that type of money or time into it. So I went to school to get a degree in political science. 2 routes you go to take law, either criminal justice or political science. I grew up in the hood, so I didn't see enough crime, so I decided to take the opposite route.
But you went back and you finished your degree at the same place where you started it before you started rapping.
Absolutely. I am a giant killer. I dropped out of University of Houston downtown in 1992, and to do rap music, and I succeeded. You know, didn't take the route I thought. I was a mainstream artist when I dropped out, and of course God saved me, and became, you know, a known name in the Christian rap industry, nominated for Double Awards and all that. So when I reached what I thought was the plateau in that, I decided to go back to college, man, and I wanted to go back to the same hill that I left. And I could have went to any other school. Like nowadays you can take online classes in your pajamas doing it. That's crazy to me, but I wanted to go back to the same hill that I left, and that's what I did.
And you talked about getting more involved, kind of getting back into music. I know you did a couple performances recently, and you got an album coming out soon. So tell me about that.
I just recently finished up the 5 Feet Mogul mixtape. So weeks, days after you see this interview, you probably can go download it, of course. And I'm about to get active again, man. I've never been completely inactive. Went through a season in time to where, you know, at one point in time when I was super Lil Raskull mode, if you called me to rap at a kid's party, a nursery party for 6 months, I would have done it. But my last, I would say, 10-year stretch, Nah, about 7 years stretch, man. I became a little bit harder to get to, and just family and all that. No,
yeah.
You know, you got horror stories or whatever. People have horrors. I fell off and started drinking. None of that, man. I've been serving God since since I left the scene. But I just became harder to get to, and didn't take as many bookings. But recently, I picked up on that, man, because I you know, my endeavor now is to go back in it full time. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, and still married to the same woman, got
same woman,
crew of kids.
16 years, getting ready to lunch off to college and all that. So if you heard fake rumors, I know, you know, my counterpart, New Wine, I don't know how many of y'all know about him. He somewhere floating around here, and he, you know, divvied back into, you know, the mainstream, and people, you know, they passed together. If Wine did it, I must have been doing it too, since they ain't heard about it, but never that, man.
Yeah.
I've been, you know, serving the Lord since 1995, actually, is when I got saved. And I haven't turned back at all.
Yeah, and we were talking earlier about, not that you're an old man, but you've had to transition to a little bit of the younger brother to the big brother status, and you see guys coming up. Do some guys that are just getting into it kind of hit you up for advice or
all the time, man? I get emails weekly concerning some guys who not in the music, I mean, not as far as rappers or not in the music industry. They'll email me and tell me that, hey, it was your CD that, you know, helped me through a hard spot.
Yeah.
Or I get people, you know, guys, us, as far as the artists, you know, the CHH artists, man, they hit me up doing the same thing, encouraging me, man, just saying, you know, appreciate you for still being in there, hanging in there. And man, what kind of advice would you give to me and all that? And it's the same advice I get to anybody, man. I don't have no long throwing out curriculum to give you, man. It's just trust God and stay faithful.
Yeah.
If you can do that, man, you win in the end, you know. And I see mainstream dudes do that. You know, I see some of the dudes who have no talent. They'll stick at it, and all of a sudden they dancing across MTV and BET.
Yeah.
And if they can do it, of course we can do it, because we got, you know, we got the Most High with us, man. So.
Yeah. So what's your take on the state of Christian hip hop these days?
I like where it is, man. Yeah. Honestly, man, I hear a lot of people, you know, fans that was in our era, complain about where it is now, because back in our era we was more coming out, turn or burn, and teaching and all that, man. But I like where it is. I always saw this coming, matter of fact. You know, it's like a sail. You know, it gets so big and then it breaks and it buds out. You know, I kind of like the fact that you can go to a Christian hip hop concert just for entertainment, man. You know, ain't nobody gonna break out and do an altar call. You know, sometimes they will, but I like the fact you can go out and just be entertained by it now, man. So I like where it is now. I like the fact that you know, I was looking at some tweets and posts, pictures from Instagram on the, you know, the Unashamed tour, and these dudes got halls packed out, man. That didn't exist when we was, you know, when we were in our heydays, man. I love to see that now, man. You know, matter of fact, when I started rapping for the Lord, I think them was visions I got. I thought we would have them size concert.
Yeah.
I didn't know it'd be 10 years later, or I probably wouldn't. I'd been like, nah, Lord, I don't want to do this.
But no, seriously, I remember like 10 years ago, you and Petty telling me you had dreams about a really live stage show and like pulling a car out or some lowrider thing on stage.
Similar to the, you know, Dre and Snoop Dogg in their heydays.
Yeah.
Pull out. I saw that type of stuff back then, you know, and it wasn't for the time when you know, I had my heights. You know? I'm not sure what's gonna happen, you know. She trying to parallel park, she run over us or whatever. But I'm not sure what's gonna happen, man. God gave me my youth, you know. Download the mixtape, you see ain't no slipping the talent at all, man. So it still could be them days, you know. Not just for the younger guys, but some of the guys that was doing it in my time, you know. Those that still look as good as me.
Right. One of the other hot things is now people are seeing Lecrae do songs with guys like Paul Wall and Big Crit, and I mean, you did that back in the day, actually with Paul Wall, even in Slim Thug and some of those guys.
You know what, man? I'm gonna say this here, because I have a song on my mixtape, and it's called Texas, and it's about rides. And I communicated back and forth with Paul Wall on Twitter. And he was like, yeah, I'll jump on it, man. Hit my email, hit my phone, you know, my phone number. So I sent him the track, and I called him, but we never made it happen. And so, you know, Lecrae just dropped, church closed too.
Yeah.
And he has you know, the Power Wall feature, and it's about rides and all that. I'm like, you heard it here first. I didn't copy that, man.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know, you know, great minds think alike. So, you know, that's a compliment to the Crate. So
yeah.
When y'all hear the Texas song, y'all hear me talking about rides on my mixtape, man, I didn't copy that from the Crate, man. It was actually a song that Power Wall was supposed to feature on, but we just couldn't make it happen.
Yeah. And your relationship with Paul Wall actually goes back. He kind of grew up even listening to you, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Paul Wall was he was a member of a friend of mine who was a youth pastor. He was a member of his youth group.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, he was introduced to me. He was happy to hear my music, man. It, you know, invited me over to his house, meet his mom and all that. Matter of fact, when his mom still see me, she, you know, it's like no time has been in between that, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know, Power Wall, Slim Thug, same. You know, he wasn't in the youth group. Quote me on saying that. I know you you gonna get tweets or whatever, you know. But Slim Thug knew me from Northside, man.
Yeah.
And he knew me BC before I got saved, and now so. Some of these guys on the Houston scene, they know me well out here, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Cool. Want anything else? 5 Foot Mogul mixtape? So.
Nah, that's it, man.
Yeah.
Y'all serve Jesus, pick up the music, man. And if you ever follow me on Twitter at 5 Foot Mogul. That's Instagram. Twitter is at Lil Raskull. Facebook, Lil Raskull or Delbert Harris, whatever page you want to get on, man.
Yeah. Cool.